Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to iLeague Season 2 action. It's a new year, but it's some good old Chinese Dota to get us underway. Speed Gaming currently trailing 0-1 in this best of 3 against Team Big God. Some familiar faces here. Xiaowei, Lanham, Mikasa, the newbie coach, as well as Ice Ice, not to be confused with Ice Ice Ice. And of course, RTK to round things out. Burning is supposed to be a part of this team in terms of their roster that's been announced, but he is not playing for this series, so you'll miss out on him, but you'll still get lots of quality Dota as the draft is well underway. Of course, I'm LD, and I'm joined here by GoDz. How you doing, GoDz?
I'm good. How are you, LD?
I'm hanging in there, man. You know, the New Year's afterglow wearing off, but Dota keeping me strong.
You had a good New Year's Eve?
Yeah, it was okay.
It was just okay.
Yeah, we played some Yahtzee. It was good.
Shotzzy, as it's now called. It's been renamed.
Too much Red Bull, man. It really just did a number on me, I gotta say.
It's a draft. Flying along.
Over-caffeinated.
Team pick.
Oh, the Witch Doctor. We haven't seen too much Witch Doctor
I
lately.
like the Witch Doctor. I'm juggling just suddenly top tier pick now. First pick by the Big Gods in game 2, and I think it's kind of like a good style to play, like a snowbally. Let's gank a lot. Let's have these heroes who can do stuff on their own. And wait, what? Brew wasn't banned? Okay, you get that 4th pick. That's a value 4th pick.
Yeah, that's a super value pick.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not sure how it made it this deep in the pool, but
It got that slight nerf to the armor, but it's like still a really strong hero.
Yeah, he just does so well mid. I saw when I was casting with Winter, I think it was, and Brew went mid against Viper, and
Like
Brew,
beat the Viper, just take a point in Drunken Haze.
God.
And
He had 27 CS to the 10 CS
remaining.
of the Viper, and it was Ferrari 430 on Viper, getting crushed
5
mid by this
seconds
Brewmaster.
remaining.
I'm just like, what is going on? This
Radiant
should not be
team
happening,
ban.
but it was happening. So.
what a hero. Yeah, Viper does not match up that well just because he has no nuke to clear the wave. So
Yeah.
you get Drunken Haze, then you try to harass him, but he's got the evasion. It's a really surprisingly annoying matchup for
It's annoying, yeah. I mean,
Team
it
ban.
still takes some RNG to get that badly beat, but yeah, that was crazy. But
Yeah.
Medusa makes another reappearance, and
Witch Doctor Medusa, very strong combo. They've also got Ember, so Stone Gaze is really good this game.
Team pick.
You Stone Gaze, you've got the Death War, which does physical damage, the Cleave from Ember, which also does physical, but that's assuming that they get that combo off, and there's no really great hero to guarantee the Stone Gaze procs yet. No, like, Faceless Void or Tide Hunter or anything like that.
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think the Witch Doctor Medusa for sure, but I don't know how much the Ember Spirit. I guess Sleight of Fist, yeah, you'll have some.
Yeah,
I think
it's like a
seconds
bonus.
remaining.
It's not a core part of the
Yeah.
lineup.
So
5
we'll see
seconds
how
remaining.
Speed Gaming looking for another core here. It looks like with Witch Doctor Silencer. I don't think the core silencer
Reserve time.
is going to make an appearance here. It just needs too much farm. You need like free farm in the safe line to get an Ag Scepter, and even then it's better used somewhere else. So
Yeah, and then you get the eggs, and then sometimes it just is not that game breaking.
Yeah.
You know, it can be, but it
I-
feels a little bit more hit or miss than a lot of other hard carries. we
against
see
these heroes,
nowadays.
there's no real benefit. It was good kind of in the past when there was most kind of squishy supports and heroes who actually get really hurt by it. Bruce, just go for a BKB. You BKB it off, you get your ulti off, and
Yeah.
you're fine.
5th pick coming out now for the Big Gods. Anything that you have your eyes on here?
Storm Spirit, I think. That's
Yeah,
Dire
brilliant.
team pick.
You know, we're already in the new year, and I gotta say, your analysis is really you've
Yeah.
taken it to the next level, David. You've been
Yep.
polished, focused, making the calls.
I do
Good,
my
good
best.
call there on the Storm.
Put in the hard work.
Really, really impressive.
All that Yahtzee play leading up to this cast. I was actually just on my phone and researching. I don't know what games
were
are to
digging?
research a Big God. I haven't played many tournaments.
Digging through the
10
archives, as it
seconds
were.
remaining.
Joey did draft quite a lot of Storm Spirit back in his. I mean,
5
it go back to like
seconds
LGD
remaining.
days. He was very big on the Storm Spirit there. But
Yeah, so they're running.
Reserve
It's
time.
interesting to pick into Storm against the Silencer, but then you look at it, and there's like nothing else to deal with Storm. There's only Global, so
yeah,
it's kind of scary. Actually,
no
it
actual
feels like
stuns.
normally I'd see a Silencer on the enemy team, be like it's not a good Storm game, but actually
And
feels like a really good Storm.
just very little burst damage. Oh, the last pick, Brood. This is
game. Aha! They take it out of the
shenanigans.
pocket.
Yeah, Elwee is going to be on that. He had a good Clockwork game last game. He's impressed me when I've seen him play for this Speed Gaming team, and this is going to just cause some slight issues for Big God. They're going to have to commit a lot to just not getting crushed by this brood. Like, at first step is like level 1, level 2, try zone him as much as possible. Then you kind of have to avoid him for a few levels, and then you come back once Storm is like ready to start ganking.
Yeah, maybe have Mystic Flare ready and
Yeah.
just try to go for some quick
But
pickoffs.
there's this like 5 to 10 minute stage of the game where you just have to let brood farm and let brood actually kind of
Yeah,
almost win the lane.
especially with these heroes. Like, they have no one to deal with the brood at that
Yep.
stage of the
I
game.
mean, you can even give brood the tier 1 tower though, and just once brood
10
starts pressing the
seconds
tier 2
remaining.
and going deeper, that's when you want to bring in the Storm. But
Yeah.
5 seconds
Well,
remaining.
I guess the main question will be, where do they look to apply the pressure here? Do they just kind of... They do buy an early dust or no, sentries picked up. Oh yeah, I did see a
Prepare
dust
for
on ice
battle.
ice. So dust and sentries.
Yep.
We've seen quite a few broods do what I would call the ice strat, which he used to do on Bounty Hunter in the offlane, where even if they don't buy their own sentries, they always bring a sentry down, or a ward, purely just to make sure that the enemy team is to blow their own sentries, dewarding. Then they don't have the sentries for the lane. Yeah, you've got dust, but generally you're not going to get a kill just because you pop a dust, unless you're all in the right spot. So it really limits the chance of dying for Iwi quite a bit.
And yep, brood goes down, pops his observer ward. I don't like this observer ward so close to the lane, because if you get the sentry to deward it, you can also sentry into the lane and see the brood. I think you want to put the observer ward away from your web. Also, I think brood should be looking to contest the bounty rune. Like, I've seen most broods go off lane.
And like drop a web
Yeah.
on this area.
You pop
Yeah.
it so that it covers the rune as well as like the trees into the neutrals, and you should be able to. Well, you're not guaranteed to get the bounty rune, but you have a good chance of it.
Well, with that said, guys, we get underway with what could be our final game of the night or the day, depending on where in the world you are, or it could just be game 2 en route to a deciding game number 3. We've got 4 best of 3s coming up tomorrow, so today's kind of your light appetizer, your warm-up. Tomorrow is where things get hot and heavy here at Beyond the Summit, as we really
The
dig into
battle
I-League Season 2. And
begins.
we introduce the teams now. LAN, I'm playing the support juggernaut that he pioneered leading into TI4 and at that event. Ice, again, not to be confused with Ice, playing the Scarlet Mage. Mikasa, the newbie coach, will be playing your Storm Spirit bottom. Does slightly whiff on his block here. That puts ROTK mid as the Viper. Not something I've seen ever from him that I can recall. Shao 8, of course, known for his versatility, will be in the offlane as the Brew. And then on the side of Speed Gaming, Iwi, the Broodmother offlane. Piao will be now playing Ember mid instead of Invoker. YFTX on the support silencer. That puts Melody Lovers onto your Witch Doctor. And Chao Yui will be playing the safe lane, farming Medusa.
Zhao 8 saying, like, RTK, let me show you how you offlane. Like, that Tide Hunter
I promise I'll die less than you. Not that that's saying much.
also won by 12 tangos.
What a ballsy play.
So Viper mid for RTK. This is pesky little silencer to deal with as well, who keeps going to throw a few curses, but Viper versus Ember, very Viper favored matchup.
This is a pretty terrible killing lane as well. Witch Doctor Medusa.
Oh, bottom lane, Brood lost the sentry versus sentry battle.
Oh,
They
no.
both had sentry, like Brood tried to counter sentry, but he couldn't kill it fast enough, and the Storm got it. So that only cost the Radiant team 1 sentry ward. Yeah, they still have another sentry. So normally, if Brood should pop his sentry, dewards the Radiant sentry, and then Radiant have to use a second sentry, but did not happen.
In the mid lane, YFTX has been trying to go for some harassment here, has taken the point Curse of the Silence early, and they'll try to turn on this one a bit. The rotation comes through, there's no points. Actually, there is an early point Sleight of Fist. Just, I guess, to disjoint an auto attack here or there, but generally you don't see it this early. He'll slide in, no chains to follow that up, as he will be forced back a bit. And I guess the good news for the Brood is they are being forced to dual lane mid, so
Yeah.
even though the Broodmother doesn't really have lane control per se, she's still getting her levels.
Yeah, this is the first kind of really weak stage for Brood. You hit level 3, you get a little bit better with if you can build up the Spiderling army, but that's hard to do with the sentry there. And level 5, you get really strong. So
Another rotation on mid, and this one might actually work out. ROTK, he's going to be first blood in the second game in a row. This time the mid Viper. Does have an observer ward here
Yeah,
top
wait.
as well, so he should have
God.
seen that one coming.
That's poor play.
Wow, I gotta tell you, I think RTK is still shaking off the rust here.
Coming out of retirement. Well, I don't know. I'm still in retirement technically. Playing from retirement.
Well, I'm sure Twitch chat is telling him to disband right now, so they're one step ahead of him on the retirement train. But fortunately, RTK does not read Twitch chat. He doesn't poison his brain in such a filthy way.
he reads S Gamer, which apparently is just as bad.
I think it's actually. I've heard it's worse. You filthy animals out there.
Well, I don't know if he does. Maybe he's good and doesn't. What are your tab? What else? That's like your entertainment.
That's what happens.
Your tabloid.
All these players retire and they're like, oh wait, I love Dota. I'm bored. Normally when I'm bored, I play Dota. Oh wait, now I'm playing Dota. Now I'm watching other teams play. Now I want to play competitively again. And then you're right back where you started.
Never-ending circle. You can't give up. Well, okay, so 1 kill apiece, CS favoring Radiant on all 3 lanes, which is, well, fantastic news for them. And I think they've done a pretty good job of slowing down the Brood's levels at bottom lane. Does have Soul Ring now with level 4, so things get a bit tougher. But the big thing is I think the Viper at mid is not crushing the Ember Spirit as much as a Viper normally would thanks to the Silencer.
They're going to make that rotation bottom lane. There is still the Observer Ward out, but they getting close here. About to be caught out. They were smoked, and it looks like they'll end up trying to chase him out. He retreats to safety. Once the Brew gets under cover of the webs, very difficult to run him down.
Yeah. It's a bit bizarre too, the Dusk, because you can see the Arcane Bolt chasing the Brood, but maybe just some animation confusion.
Yeah, I don't think they could have caught him at that point anyway. But
Brood just so fast in those webs. That's without boots here at 440 movement speed.
yeah, once Storm hits 6, unlikely to die, but it is going to be that point where the lane's just constantly being pressured. And
yep.
They have a good ganking lineup, but it's mainly the Storm who's going to be your reliable jump in. And if he's already in lane getting harassed, he won't really be able to offer much.
Okay.
last
Continuing where he left off
2.
last game.
Bit early on the, but he will go down in the end. Level 2 Curse of the Silence picks up. We've got a cat on the loose in the studio.
And at this point, RTK just needs to transition back into a corrosive heavy skill build and just go defensive. He's not winning this lane as far as zoning out the Ember Spirit. Like, you go for this 2 poison attack because you can normally zone out Ember Spirit and give him a rough time, but with this really nice play from the Silencer.
Uh-oh. Bottom lane, this could be trouble. Soul Ring pulling down soon. That'll force out Mikasa's last remaining mana. He's now going to have to retreat. Meanwhile, mid, Piao getting run down. The auto attacks from RTK are there. Not quite enough to finish him off. Lanham committing. Slight attempting to disjoint a few, like a half second of the Blade Fury, but it's not enough. They end up getting 2 kills just for the Juggernaut. Sal from Ice Ice, he'll survive. And at the same time, the Brood Mama left alone bottom lane. So, getting a little momentum here as we head towards the 6th minute.
At this stage, if you're not getting momentum between 5 and 10 minutes in, you failed your job as Brood in the bottom lane. So Brood should have a good time for a little bit here. The Storm with Dusk could cause problems. That's your one goal in the next 5 minutes is just not to die to a zip in from Storm with Dust and use your Spider Links to try to scout out the positioning of Radiant heroes where possible.
Yeah, has hit level 6. Going for a pretty standard build. We'll see if he looks to max out the Overload, or if he takes a 3rd point in Electric Vortex, which is normally the most reliable ganking build. Then you can guarantee a pull into a Remnant. But for now, Mikasa just trying to get his levels up, not dying, which is good for him. Piao on the chase, doesn't have his level 6, so can't really jump in onto Ice Ice's Skywrath as they move towards that top room. But your Dire Squad Speed Gaming will be forced back. They are smoked, and they now find RTK. A great sleight of fist chains, but there's nothing to follow this one up as RTK surges himself in. There's no way to break through this last word, and will eventually be disarmed from it. That's very annoying for the Viper.
What a hero versus Viper.
Yeah, I guess you can hold the Viper Strike. Yeah. That's not fun.
It's a weird kind of, at least laning counter to the Viper. You just keep on coming in, use your curse, and Viper can't get rid of that. You guarantee a disarm unless you're gonna. I mean, you're not gonna Viper Strike just to get rid of the disarm. So
it's an 80-second cooldown level 1. That's when you get the Ags on Viper. It's crazy. Like the level 1 ult with no Ags is 80 seconds. Oh, hold that thought. RTK, he's dead again. Another pick off here. Ice Ice looking to turn this one onto Piao, but he's being healed up by the Witch Doctor. This prompts a TP from Mikasa. Big commitment from him. The heal, though, is strong. Very strong, in fact. He's got to stay near a Melody Lovers. He'll try for it. Another zip. Another zip. He still can't get the kill. 5 HP. Barely surviving. Mikasa can he even kill up Melody Lovers? No, he can't do that either. The unkillable Tank Doctor gets the job done. At the same time, the Broodmother now again has the lane to herself. No Storm ganks threatening. And your Storm has to
Radiant's bottom
walk
tower
all the way
is
back
under
to
attack.
base. This is like a minute and a half of free farm for Brood.
Yeah, that was really nice. And Jug comes down here, but he can't lane too well against Brood. The OP man shield on the Ember Spirit, just keeping him alive there. And
Dum bum 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 bum. It's scary to just watch this like huge swarm of spiderlings move in formation together.
And you can like stack them on each other, so you can't really tell how many there actually are.
You know what it reminds me of? Brood War Mutalisks.
Yeah.
Where you just fly them around on one... I forget what the bug was, but there's some bug where you can fly them around like a gigantic cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't it like having a building selected and then like 11 or however many Mutalisks? I think it was something weird like that. Anyway.
Like,
Point is, it's hard to like
you hover them
see their
all on
HP
each other,
bars,
and you can't see their HP bars. I don't know if I don't remember that if you could like tell how many there were, but the spiderlings there could suddenly be 30 on you, and it just looked like there were like 3 or 4.
They're gonna zip in here, top lane onto Chao Yui, and they bring him low. Now a Brew split committed.
Oh, they make it 2,
I don't think
actually.
we've even talked about the Brewmaster at all this game, but he will throw out the Cyclone. Remember, this was a 4th pick Brewmaster, not to be confused with the Brood Mother. Melody Lovers will get pounded. No heal will be good enough for this. Yes, he will end up going down.
So Mikasa deciding just to get very active on the map, ganking all over. And goes mid, doesn't actually succeed there, but now goes top. Mid lane though, Ira to Gay. Please.
Hey, it was called Magic Boxing, that's right. Man, it's been so long since I watched.
He actually lives.
He does manage to survive for quite a while. He ends up completely living. They turn around, they get the kill. Barely tanking through it and juking nicely into the tree line.
Mikasa carrying. Well, I don't mean he hasn't won yet, but he's doing a
Coach
really good
OP.
job.
Coach Dota, best Dota.
Yeah. Lamb at bottom needs to be careful. He's got 0 mana here, and the phase boots, he's going to use this to try and like juke through creeps, but I don't see that working.
Where you going? Where are you going? Not going anywhere. Goes down again. That's a 9.5 minute Midas complete. That's with a Soul Ring and 900 gold in the bank, plus Tier 1 pretty much slated to fall. Meanwhile, mid lane, Piao jumping in as well. Doesn't get the kill though. Almost emulates Ice down. Can't quite finish the job. But it's all just about forcing out these TPs, trying to force out rotations, while Ewi does the heavy lifting bottom. Good start for Brood, as you did mention. They've got a nice lineup to gank him later on.
And T1 bottom tower going to go down, but that's okay. That's tolerable. 10 minutes in, you're the Brood with 1 kill, no deaths, and a T1 tower is obviously a really good start for a Brood, but it's not like you're guaranteed to snowball and do well in the mid game because of the fact you've got the Storm, you've got a Jug, you've got pretty good heroes of dealing with a Brood, so I don't think it's a like, oh crap, this Brood's going to own us kind of situation.
I'll make the rotation here, top lane. Curse the Sound, use them, Shouty immediately claps. Speed Gaming looking to engage. Throwing out the casket, won't really bounce to anything though. He doesn't have mana for his ult, but he's just a bit too tanky.
Yeah. Still on cooldown. Oh, he's got Blink now too, so it's going to be up in 15 seconds. He'll have a Blink, he'll have full mana and HP thanks to the bottle, and
I feel like they want to force something because they know the split was used fairly recently, but it's almost up.
yeah. And Skyrath with level 6 ulti is actually going to swing mid with the smoke. Joey's pinging. He's like, guys, I got this Blink. Come on, let's do something.
Radiant's top tower is
And
under
Silencer no ultimate, so he can't even get that fast global when the Blink clap comes in. That was okay. The concussive shot in the storm.
Zip in initiation, Mystic Flare to follow this one up. They get the quick kill, taking down your Witch Doctor. But Speed Gaming now trot back towards their Tier 2. They may have to completely back off. Knowing the Brew splits up, knowing there's 4 or 5 heroes top, Broodmother will continue the push, but I do want to mention that the tower bottom was denied earlier by the Storm, so really nice play by Mikasa this game. Getting kills, 2-0-3, denying the tower, stalling the push for quite a long time, and just generally making plays all around the map.
Yeah, and Brood will probably keep on remaining this top farmer for a while. We'll pressure the T2. Whenever a Spiderling army gets to T2, TPs will happen. And that's where Brood is probably better off farming the jungle with Spiderlings, not really pushing the lane. There's no way Big God just let Brood get free tower up the tower.
Dire's top tower
Yeah, with the
is
big
under
commitment here
attack.
mid lane. Chasing way past the tower. The top tower also being sieged, this one by the Radiant. Is coming through a Shao 8, splits at the ready. He's going to mosey on up directly on top of Melody Lovers. He wants the 2-hero clap, and he gets the 2. Crit will start, now the heals pop. The zip in may come through, but Mikasa actually gets cast. Might go down here. Melody Lovers will end up falling to the Fire Panda. Still surviving for now is going to be your Storm Spirit. The Broodmother unable to contribute, just farming the Radiant jungle while Speed Gaming end up just again getting punished by that Brew split with no real answer for it, aside from just farming.
Brood actually swinging mid lane. I kind of like the idea that Brood maybe gets involved a bit.
Uh-oh.
God, the Spiderlink. That's exactly that looked like maybe 6 Spiderlinks. No, it was a good 20 or so. And there we go.
And then Chow blinks and claps and just cleans up like half of them. But yeah, they do get the
Mystic
kill with the
Snake,
Mystic
yeah.
Snake bouncing deep behind the tier 1 tower. Still though, with the Brew as well as the Storm, there's decent clear for these Spiderlings as they get farmed up a bit.
Radiant's middle
Yeah,
tower
and I
is
think
under
that's where
attack.
Brew that's where you have to be so far ahead on items because you can't really use those Spiderlinks too much
Radiant's middle
in this
tower
mid game,
has
apart from
fallen.
farming jungle.
Dire's
And it
top
will be a
tower
pretty
is
fast
under
bulk
attack.
for LW on the Brood. Obviously, great against Storm, pretty good against Brewmaster, Jug. A lot of these heroes get hurt quite heavily by the silence.
Speed Gaming making another foray into the Radiant jungle. This time Broodmother not alone though. They're bringing in reinforcements. They do have Global. They haven't used it yet. This game just got level 6, and they want to go on Mikasa, but the positioning is just perfect by him. Not an easy kill.
Dire's
Even
bottom
using the
tower
Remnant
is
just to be on
under
the safe
attack.
side, and
Yeah, you can see with the Remnant, you get that flying vision, a small AoE around him. Very difficult to bring down.
for Big God, it looks like they're poising to go for another kill on this Medusa at top lane.
They're poised to jump on Chao Yui. Same time, bottom room, we may have an engagement. Mikasa about to get caught out. Will they global? They will! Then the Witch Doctor Ward. Look at it go, man. He'll fall.
That
And that's
global maybe just saved the Medusa as well.
Yeah. The Juggernaut was moving through with an Omni Slash at the ready. 8-8 your score. An even game, David. Net worth, dead even. Experience, slightly favoring for now the Radiant team.
Mid lane, they're going to go in on RTK. Still okay for the time being, and yeah, Piao actually going to be forced back.
We're going to see a Midas, looks like, coming out for your Silencer. Uh-oh. Omni Slash ready, but, well, doesn't want to use it. Sleight of Fist coming through. I don't think we've seen an Omni yet this game.
Oh, it's a big split.
Engages, leaps forward, throws up into the air your Witch Doctor, so he can't get close for the heal, and now they can dispel it, drop it back down as the tornado ends, kill off Melody Lovers too. This Brew pick
Yeah.
doing like 80% of the work since the laning stage. The Storm was effective early, but it's the Brew that's carrying Big God for the mid game.
It's one of those heroes, like, you can first pick it, and even if your opponent's pick counters, like Witch Doctor, a good counter to the Brew because of the cast around the split. Silencer, or heroes that go Orchid, heroes with instant silence, in theory, great counters, but if you just play around that, you get your BKB later on. Your early game ganking potential is still there. Like, if you have to global just to stop one split in the, like, early game, it's not really worth it, so... All in all.
Still wonder... Oh, look at this Midas game. I think... Yeah, that's a Midas for the Brew. I think
Okay.
Silencer's still going for one, so... We're about to see 3 Midases here as this game moves along. Well, there's your Orchid, but as we often see with Broods, the question is, like, what do you do now that you've gotten your farm? Can you make plays? Can you actually threaten important objectives? That's always the tricky part on this hero. The early snowball is kind of expected if they don't have lane counters.
It's going to be very pesky for someone like Storm who can't just solo push up bottom lane if Brood's around, but...
That's true.
And I like Brood's kind of network of webs. It goes all the way through the Radiant jungle, so even if your Radiant team are trying to farm their big camp far away, near their tier 2 mid, it's going to be potential kills going the Brood's way if he comes in with the Orchid.
Yeah, we take a quick peek at those webs, and as you can see, pretty damn good coverage throughout the Radiant Woods. So, it looks like with this, both teams poised to continue ramping up the farm. The Midases are out. No real stacking of note. Neither team particularly adept at killing off stacks.
There we go, top lane.
But they will begin their siege.
No split, I believe, yeah, 25 seconds, and that's kind of hard to stall. This tier 1 may just have to go down. I guess RTK has mech, but I don't think you want to fight too badly without the split.
Blink split. There is a global. They're going to pop it now. Then the Witch Doctor. Oh, they were ready for Shao 8 shenanigans. They are wrapping around here with the Juggernaut backstab. There is, I believe, a Brewmaster buyback. Actually, short 300 gold. And now the Stonegate comes through. Lanham trying to turn and retreat out. He's going to have to do something. Blade Fury, Omni, nothing. He ends up just getting blown to pieces. Got stunned there.
Not sure what the plan was.
Yeah, I think the plan was to get off the split.
Oh, he didn't have split. I think he was just trying to bait. I think if anything, the plan was they use global to kill me when I don't even have split. Like, so it wasn't really.
Did he just get off cooldown?
Yeah, it was like after he. It was like a good 10 seconds after he died. Like he was kind of close to it, but he definitely did not have it. He was just going for a blink clap. He wasn't going for an ultimate.
Yeah. Well, giving up the tower was not denied. Medusa even gets the last hit. And again, they are leaving the Brood on. This is kind of the ideal situation of your Brood. Just nobody in your side of the map. Didn't manage to take the tier 2. Actually isn't damaged yet, but it's just free farming the enemy woods. Let's see. Item-wise, what's coming? Tread's now complete. Kind of a late tread.
Normally you don't, I mean, you go kind of bootsless on the Brood because you get 500 movement speed with no boots. So you can just kind of cut corners, get your Midas faster, get the Orchid faster was nice, although he hasn't really used the Orchid too much yet. But still in a very good position. Next step is maybe taking Roshan with some teammates, although it looks like teammates are actually going to smoke towards him, so could try and play aggressive with the Brood and try to find some kills now.
SPG Gaming starting to get a little bit more aggressive here. Continue to make their way through the Radiant Woods. Heading in towards Ice and Mikasa. They're going to get the jump on Mikasa mid lane. Slight through, but that just prompts a zip out retreat. As Ice will also look to engage through this. He throws out a concussive shot. No real follow-up for that. By the way, I do want to point out, he's gone for a very unusual build. We didn't really talk about it earlier, but he maxed concussive shot. Yeah, not a common build on that hero.
No, a few players have done this hero there. Whoa, Ember Spirit. Did not stand a chance. Against a Brood, I like it. It's just like, you're not going to be able to just sit in a fight and spam the Arcane Bolts very much, and it's actually like quite a big damage using the concussive shot, so... I can't remember who it was. I think it was maybe... I think Bone 7 did it when he was playing like some offlane Skywrath, when they did like the Skywrath Beastmaster. He was doing a few times I saw him max it, and it actually worked out quite well.
Okay.
It's very game dependent. And against a Brood, I think it works well. Against heroes you just can't fight into, which is like Ember Spirit Brood, even Medusa to some extent.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we'll see how it works out. So far, your Skywrath Mage has had a pretty decent impact. 1, 2, and 9, so involved in 10 out of 12 kills. Kind of what you expect out of the hero in general. You don't pick it to farm.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Still working on his Orchid. He is really behind as far as compared to the Brood, which has been a big problem because he can't just go to the Brood's lane with the Orchid online.
And the issue is he really needs a BKB as well. Uh-oh. Dust will find Ewi. Look at the slow coming out. Blade Fury to follow through this. We'll try to finish off the Spiderlings. Can't even do that. And that's with the quick catch.
I guess, I mean, he one-shotted the little Spiderites with the concussive shot. Kind of nice.
Brewmaster split happens top lane. His YFTX did not global in time. Maybe didn't think he could do anything. Now the global comes out right as he's about to die. Not sure what the goal was with that.
Now the escape though, need a fast blink.
Maybe they can kill the Brew. He's gonna try to retreat out. Blink. Shall we? Nope, can't get it all.
Oh, he wants to fight. That's why he didn't blink.
Dr. Ult comes through though. Shall we? Dropping low to the Maledict damage. Probably gonna tick down. He'll try to TP out to safety. In the meantime, RTK being turned on. Azui finally joins the fight. And he'll get a nice kill there. Looking for a bit more. Ember chaining forward, but he gets 2 creeps with the chain because it was the camp with so many little creeps. Unfortunate for him. Still not needed. They get the kill. 3 down. Mikasa not joining the team for that, and your Brew just forced to retreat out to safety.
Yeah, because they could have just backed off after the Brew ulti. Jowett definitely had plenty of time to blink, but they wanted to re-engage, and with Speed Gaming bringing in the Brood, and Brood just as farmed as he is, it's a decent time for Speed Gaming to actually be fighting. I feel like then after like another 5 minutes, when Storm gets an Orchid up, when Brewmaster finishes a BKB, that's when it gets really hard for Speed Gaming to fight. I think even Viper is probably going to go for a BKB as well.
Yeah, the thing for Mikasa is he's got the Orchid, but he definitely still needs that BKB you mentioned. Uh-oh, Courier! Oh no! 1 auto attack? No. Could have used the ult and maybe gotten the kill there, but instead he'll go for the Mikasa kill, but Chowit's waiting for this one. He blinks in, zones back Iwi. He's going to tank into 3 heroes. For now, your Storm kept alive. He's got the Orchid at the ready. Looking for a quick, easy pick-off here. Tries to turn on the Brood and will pull him back in with the silence, then goes for the zip. The Orchid of the Brood also cooling down, about to be ready. Lanham comes forward, surges in, but does not have his ultimate. Now a blink, a clap, shall we? He's got his ulti ready in 9 seconds, but no mana to use it. Still not needed. Another Death Ward. This one not quite as effective as the last, but it zones them back while Piao charges in. He's looking for the chains. He gets silenced. The Orchid Gaming really paying off for both teams here as the Storm's been silenced. He tries to zip away to freedom. He'll zip south. He's got stick charges. He's got a TP scroll. Can probably make it out to safety. At the same time, Brew going for the split. He gets it off. There is a Stone Gaze. They may be forced to use it. They'll cycle on the Medusa, ignore him while they try to bring down Melody Lovers, and Melody Lovers will get clubbed into submission. Now the Stone Gaze. Still Damage has largely been done. Everybody turning away here. Nice, decent micro. They'll Cyclone the Ember, turning back for the Medusa. Can they get this kill? Xiao Wei casually crits the creep. Now looks for the real kill. Xiao Yui getting Omni Slashed in the dome. Will end up going out. It's 4 dead. They look to make it 5 as Piao has rejoined this one. He's going to remnant on through. Now jumps back. That will be the end of the fight as far as he's concerned. Just kidding. He's re-engaging. He gets one. He's looking for more. Global was ready. They pop it. Now the Storm. He's going back. We're not done yet. Let's get ready.
The rainbow coming in, and he's like, "Oh, that's a bad idea." Especially the pink one. That's the guy who's going to silence you and kill you. So,
Woo, what a fight!
Yeah, and I think all in all, it seemed to go a bit better for the big gods.
That is not a complete fight recap.
Yeah, Medusa
definitely went better for the big gods. Just look at the gold crap.
Medusa and Brood, both core heroes dying. They killed 4. It was just the Ember who ended up not dying that fight. But possible space for Speed Gaming to take a Roshan here, and not a crazy. It's not like they've got the best 5-man. They can start taking up a bunch of objectives with this Aegis. So I don't look at this and think, oh, big god are in trouble. But
it's just like you're running the Brood, right? And it just doesn't. Brood this is like about as good as it gets for Brood. Free farm bottom lane, 11k net worth, 9.5 minute Vitus, early BKB coming out, but is there like would a different item progression let you do more? Is this the way to go with the combat, more of the combat build going for that BKB? Could go for like the Necro 3 we see quite a bit.
BKB, this Viper Strike, a lot of stuff goes through it, but I guess Bruce just wants
if you want to fight,
yeah. If you want to fight, you have to be able to not die to like the Skywrath nukes and even just like get out of the Brewmaster clap slow and the Storm with the pull and the Orchid. So it is the fighter build. So I guess he wants to realizes he's going to need a transition to some kind of a carry, but that's a worry. If you've got Medusa and Ember Spirit on your team, and you're just saying you got to go carry.
Ember is going for a Manta Rush early. I guess just for the Orchid more than anything, but it does really gimp his damage output.
A lot of there's
not
also
a hero that benefits from attack speed. Yeah, it's kind of a necessary evil, but still not ideal.
Yao's done this a bit for LGD, like when he plays something like Utility Initiator Ember Spirit, where you just want to stay alive. And doesn't go for the Battle Fury Daedalus, at least not right off the bat. You can transition to the carry.
10 years since Hand of Midas. He still doesn't have it. 25 minutes in YFTX.
Silencer? Yeah.
He had the Gloves of Haste at like 12 minutes. Global will be popped. Bottom lane to try and help keep your Brood Mother alive. Not going to happen. Ends up going down. It's a 3-hero rotation for that.
That's a global silence, though.
Global and a kill. Big win there for the big gods. How fitting. We'll have a BKB soon on the Storm.
And Viper, I think, he's going back for a Yasha, so just catch a Loga Club and get a Yasha online.
Yeah, also a good game for him to get a Manta, I guess, with the global silence to worry about.
Yep. More
pressing for his team, though.
Medusa at this point is still more farm than any Radiant core, and that's where you normally say, okay, I mean, you look at this net worth chart, we've got top farm on the Brood, which is like, okay, it's a Brood, but you still have Medusa more farm than anyone, but it just feels like Big God are kind of controlling the game a little bit better. And Mikasa, especially on the Stormtree, has just been all over the map, whereas Medusa's been so quiet, and it just doesn't seem like Speed Gaming have a clear way of breaking the high ground and going into some kind of taking objectives, really. You can kind of go late game with a Medusa, but there's like a good 4 core heroes on the Radiant side.
Yeah, that's the thing, is none of them 1v1 is going to outcarry a Medusa, but collectively you've got Drunken Haze to harass and annoy her, the Storm Orchid just to damage amp, a lot of bursts from Juggernaut with the Omni Slash for Lanham, and they also have the Skarath Mage Ancient Seal, which is finally maxed. He's managed to level that up fully, and you got to pull into a Mystic Flare. That is going to chew through pretty much the entirety of the Mana Shield.
And if Brood can farm up like a Vlad's AC, a lot of that Medusa right-click damage, the Ember right-click damage is going to be negated pretty decently with the bonus armor.
Big smoke. They're out for a little jaunt, and this time Xiao Wei does BKB. He'll blink. He'll clap. He's probably waiting. Well, no, not going to wait for anything now. He'll BKB as he continues to chase forward onto YFTX. Piao trying to engage, though. They get a 2-for-1 exchange. They make it 3. Nice turn here by Speed Gaming. Kind of running over this Brewmaster split now, cleaning up the Brewlings. As he will have just the Earth Panda. He's going to die in Brew Split. They slow him down. They finish him off. They get the kill. 4 dead with the brew split blown, and there
Chain.
might be 5. No,
I think even Piao was surprised
High
by
ground?
that. Like, I've never seen a steering chain such long range.
I think you go high ground now, and you get the kill. It's going to be a team wipe for Speed Gaming. They suddenly hit the kill switch, get 5, get the tower, and they go for tier 3 here, I
Medusa
believe.
5-man Dota. It's not. It's
Medusa
not
brewed 5-man Dota.
it's not the 60-minute Medusa. This is
With
where
no global. They didn't even have global in that fight. Crazy.
Zhao 8 went in, gets like the 1 kill, and he held on to his ulti because he has BKB, so he was hoping Speed Gaming tried to silence him or try to focus him down before he ulti, but they just ignored him. And he's like, oh, well I should just ulti because my team really needed the Cyclone. You can't fight without cycloning up either Medusa or Brood. Brood is BKB, so at this point you just got to cyclone that Medusa, but
Man,
Brood waited way too
losing
long.
a lane of Rax against Brood, this is not quite as bad as losing it versus Furion, but it's pretty damn bad. Now the bottom lane, all your jungle belongs to us for the rest of the game. Even if they kill the Brood, it's going to take a incredibly huge commitment. There's no real good staging points to get into that woods, and that's just going to free up the rest of the map for Speed Gaming.
And
Now another Manta, so the Orchid being pretty thoroughly countered at this point across the board. BKB on Brood, and the double Manta style on the other 2 cores, the Ember as well as the Medusa.
they're just going to expire, but Speed Gaming may look to still just 5-man, take tier 2s at a really good strong point with the Medusa having Manta and Skadi. Just because Medusa is ahead of everyone on farm. Like if you're playing from behind, you turtle, you go for that big 5-6 slotted Medusa, but when you're ahead, you can fight with Medusa with just the 1 to 2 big items. Like even a Skadi only, Medusa can be very tough to deal with.
Here comes the wraparound. Ewi ready to engage, but not going to actually do it. Meanwhile, top lane, speaking of wraparound, Storm zipping in. We'll silence Chao Yui, and then what? What's your plan here, my friend? His plan is to get beaten
Force them
down.
TPs, I guess.
Plan, not a success.
Yeah.
James is there. Then they silence Lanham. He is Blade Fury, but can't use that Wally silence. In the meantime, Mystic Flare was casually tossed out. Didn't get a whole lot done. Global forced. And they won't really use this one to much avail either. Just getting into position. Mantaing through the silence. It continues to engage. Piao will get the first kill. Goes the way of the Medusa for the last hit. Nice job setting that one up. They now cyclone the Broodmother. The split shot finishing off yet another hero. Lanham's Juggernaut will fall. He never even got enough in Omni Slash. And now again, the Brew split just getting nothing accomplished. They bring down a 3rd hero. That's 3 for 1. Only a Witch Doctor dead. And now, spiriting in, Piao not going to commit. They will take a tier 2. Do they even go high ground again? There's no Brew split. That's a 2-hero chains. Oh no! ROTK as well as Xiao 8. The 2 wily old veterans looking a bit sloppy here. They'll get picked off. And that could be it. That's going to be 2 lanes of Rex, it looks like.
Now just with these like insta sleight of fist searing chains combos, making
They were like as far away as possible.
Yeah.
That was just within the AoE.
The one at bottom lane was like a 900 range initiation, and that one there hitting both heroes.
GG. 1-1. We're going to a game 3.
Alright, I mean Speed Gaming in game 1 to me looked like the better team, just a few big individual plays and just kind of moments where Speed Gaming didn't really stick to the plan to cost them, so I give Speed Gaming a slight edge in game 3. They do look like the slightly more consistent and just more well-rounded team right now.
All right. Well.